I left Tiger Muay Thai recently. I'm actually up here at Camp Lukchamasotong in Burdiram, where I've been before. I had mentioned in the last video that I would talk a little bit about what it was like to be a Tiger. And basically when it comes to talking about being at Tiger as opposed to being in a place, say, like where I am now, there are kind of a lot of things at play that I'm not really going to get into in terms of a larger discussion of the different types of camps. I will say that for me, creatively, being in a place like Tiger, a place considered quote-unquote a tourist camp, was not what I expected. I went in there kind of thinking that in terms of like levels of inspiration, that it might be a little bit more difficult than a smaller Thai camp. Just because, you know, off the bat, inherently, it's a little bit less interesting for me to come to Thailand and photograph, you know, someone from Australia in a beginner session. But I knew that I was there for a decent amount of time, and I had to make the most of it and have to find what would inspire me and what would work. And so the first thing, the obvious one, was the trainers. Tiger has like 35 trainers, something like that. And you know, a handful of them are legends in the sport. They all have huge amounts of experience, and they all have, for the most part, very interesting stories. And so I worked with them a lot. You know, from there's levels of interest in terms of the stories to be told and the things to capture. The fact that they're there, the fact that they're teaching foreigners, is essentially these days, you know, when it comes to telling the story of Muay Thai, painting the complete picture of Muay Thai, it's now part of the story. You know, showing Thai, you know, older Thai trainers, ones that had great fight careers, teaching foreigners in Thailand is part of the story, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's a good part of the story or not. It is part of it. Trying to figure out whether they're proud to be, you know, sending their art form all around the world, or whether they are upset that they're not teaching young Thais. That to me became very interesting, and I'm not sure I really captured that when it comes to getting into something, you know, a little bit deeper and more personal. In that, I wasn't really there for that long, but it's kind of a story that I kind of realized from being there. In addition, because I wasn't constantly being presented with material that was inherently awe-inspiring or inherently inspirational, it forced me to get a little more creative on my end. Decided to kind of play around and experiment more on my end, because I knew that there was, with so much going on at all times, if I experimented, I could find the right place to apply that new technique or apply that new process. So whether or not I'm able to clearly articulate what did end up being positive or helpful or inspiring or whatever about being a Tiger, the fact of the matter is I'm coming out of it with a pretty decent body of work and a more varied body of work. So obviously something worked. I found the things that worked for me. I found the things that fit with my project and my goals. I found the stories that I was excited to try and capture, the people that I was excited to try and capture. So next time I'll do one more of these videos before leaving, and I'll try and show you a little bit about how I'm trying to separate this year's work from last year. So that's it. Thank you again for watching. Like I said, we'll be bringing another one of these soon. So check back, stay posted on Fury Magazine.